So the title of the show is This, That, the Other Thing. So kind of when I'm making things, there's not kind of like a central theme to the show. I guess I'm making stuff that I think is interesting or funny so I think like this, that, it's kind of everything. Um, and then I think it plays into also like how the pieces are kind of like puzzle pieced. They're cut apart and put together. The way I make the pieces is I build this frame and then I cut the pieces to like create either the patterns or I guess whatever I'm trying to do with the piece. And I really enjoy the kind of technical aspect of trying to piece all the pieces together and get them all fit right, and kind of like watching as the pattern kind of forms, because I'm not really planning much beforehand. And then once that's done, I really like there's like almost like the facing of this thing I spent all this time trying to perfect and get right and put together correctly, and then it's like taking it to the next level, but also kind of destroying what it was. I have an idea of what a piece is when it starts, but it usually transforms a lot as it goes. I'd say most of the time I know what I'm trying to do, but I don't know exactly visually how it's going to look, I guess. So I guess usually what I start doing is I start cutting pieces, start placing pieces, and then it grows out of that kind of. So, I mean, some pieces you just need to have a very, once you have the first piece cut, kind of everything needs to be a certain way for it to work out. Whereas other pieces you can kind of play around with patterns in different places or moving things around more, I guess. Was really enjoying using oil paint and just like trying to like render forms, I guess. So that just like trying to find a way to push what I was doing forward while also exploring that. Yeah, so the roadkill piece, I think I just saw a rabbit, just like like literally just roadkill on the road, and sometimes that's just how ideas kind of form. I liked how it was basically trying to get like a tire pattern into a square frame, I guess, and it just kind of grew organically out of that. I like the way like the rabbit and the spokes of the wheel kind of are like a diptych almost. So the cockfight piece with the roosters painted on it. I kind of always had. I really like that idea of in like old cartoons where it's like a rumble of people fighting and it's like throwing punches and you just see arms and legs and hands. So that's kind of like I had that idea in mind as I was making it, and it also is just like it's that, and also the like explosion of like cartoon explosions were just a colorful bang. It wasn't even really intent. Like I was looking at like quilt pattern things just for ideas for patterns as I was making, and it just kind of came about that it was like that kind of like barnhouse quilt type like look to the piece, like that kind of just was like an type moment. So this is one of this crate here is one of the first ones kind of in this. I think there's one other before this, so I was still trying to really figure out what I liked about like this new series of stuff I was working on, and I was really interested in like the perspective of. It was basically two things I knew I liked were I was like working with the wood and the patterns, and I liked playing with the perspective of the pieces. Because the first one I made was like that paint shelf type like collection piece, and I really like I just the perspective of it and just playing with the wood. So it's kind of like what's something I can make that like plays with those two things. And like the most simple thing is a crate, a pretty simple pattern, and just like playing with a cubic perspective, I guess. And then it was like, how do you take that and make it a painting? I guess you can take that sculptural thing and make it a painting. So then it was like it just kind of evolved from there, like making marks on this thing. When people look at my stuff, I just want them to get what they get out of it. Is that good?